Hey everyone, let's give it a minute for people to get in. Let me check my sound. Hey Deb, how are you, hon? Hey everyone. Let me write in the chat. Oh, sorry, knocked my camera. All right. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Jennifer. I miss you, Deb. Haven't seen you in a spell. Give me a call. Let's wait another minute to get everyone in here, and then we'll get going on today's idea on what we're going to talk about. All right. I appreciate you all tuning in to my channel today, as usual. And I got another couple new people that have been coming in, watching a lot of the older videos, having a good time. So it's really good to see that the value of their work over the years is still paying off for people, and I think that's a real good thing. Let me close this right here. All right, we are at 7 o'clock, and caught another live on fire. Can't wait. Hello, Dead Event. Hello, Holy Shift. What's up, baby? Roxanne. Hi, sweetie. Hello, Todd. Thanks all for tuning in. Well, let's get going with Sunday night. And, I usually ask, there's a lot of questions that people ask in the past, and I would answer them, and sometimes we do it in the chat. But someone had texted me something about a question, and it was kind of like right along the lines of what I do. Hello, Dominic. Great to see you, Dom. And her question had something to do with manifestation, and I really wanted to. Glad you got to catch me, Holly. Thanks for tuning in. I wanted to talk about, and we've talked about it before, but I found a different layer maybe we could look at. Okay. Her question was about manifestation. And of course, it had to do with money, as most people have. And that's why we did money last week with Dositheus, talking about it's a relationship thing. And it was how to manifest it more, because all of a sudden she's making more and she's getting greedy and she wants to know how to make more money. But it wasn't about making more money, and it wasn't about that satisfaction. That's the illusion. So you think you're going to get somewhere, and then it's all going to be okay. It's like humanity chasing peace. We create laws to enforce peace, and we're not violent by nature. We're violent because we're lackful. We're violent because we're separated. Where that lackfulness creates this idea of envy, of greed, of coveting, of need, of desirous externally. So that's all part of the algorithm that you must recognize within yourself. So it was greed and her envy of Kim Kardashian she needed to look at. See, Kim Kardashian was born into a wealth of money. She was plopped in, and she only knew that. So when you get to the planet and you're an emptiness and you get that reality, what are you going to be? Poor? You're not going to be poor. You're going to be rich. And you're going to covet the rich lifestyles, and you're going to be that truth vibration, and you're going to continue to attract money. But that doesn't make happiness. See, with the Kardashians, she still has problems because she has an envious amount of lack in her to something that she's relating to in reality. She won't have a perfect life because she doesn't know herself wholly, and she has lacking parts in herself, so she looks externally for those fulfillments, and of course that leads to frustration and lack and separation in the whole game, and she's just playing a different version of what everyone else is playing is. Whether you have a lot of money or not doesn't make a difference, but it does to you personally, because you would rather be miserable being rich than be miserable being poor, which I have a fucking tendency to agree with. Because it does suck to be poor, and it does suck more than being rich. But I'm not rich, so I don't fucking know. That's a bullshit. So I wanted to go into a different layer of that. Okay? You guys have to. If you're really serious about enlightening yourself, waking up, then you must know by default your truths are the soul, the individual soul cause, if you want to put it in those terms, of why your reality is exactly why it is. Your mind assigns it. Do you recognize that? Do you recognize your mind looks for reason, causality, effect, consequence, outcome, all based on time, memory, and your mind putting together a congruent reasonality of occurrence, which has nothing to do with the actual idea of what you've been creating. What have you been creating, guys? You've been creating the experience. Would you back up for a second and look at what you're doing? I'm creating my truths because these are my truths. Without them, I could not experience. So, if you are greedy, you have a truth in you that is greed. And you have to recognize my greed that I own, that I bought from some salesperson called humanity, and they sold me on that because I was feeling empty. And it gave me an idea in my head better. And I wanted it because then I would be whole. I'm looking to be whole. I want to feel me again. But of course, the mind doesn't know that. The mind is putting it in the idea of objects, jobs, degrees, marriages. We'll be happy then. We'll be happy then if we'll get that then. But you never do that because you are lacking, motherfucking lacking yourself. It's not wrong that you lack yourself. Look, in order to get this experience, we must be 100% without fail separated from our knowing. So we come here and we don't know ourselves. So we're empty. And we fill ourselves with our truths, our covets, our belief systems, and they are running the show. And you're walking around going, what's the reason? And mom and God, and this person, and then you're playing the not self role. And that self is a fucking stranger to your whole self. It ain't you. And don't go bullshitting yourself that you know what a God is. Because you haven't met you, and you're the only God that you can meet. You. That's the one you get to know. Because this creates all of this. So why are you using a fractal to create your reality? Well, because that's all you know. So if you know it, you get it. You get it, you get it, you get it. It says, oh, this is my truth. I get that. Now, we think, as a human collective, that our vibrational thoughts up here can change that outcome through a modality. And they can, and you can have that. You can work hard and you can get things. You can discipline yourself to get good credit, to gain, get an education and get a better paying job and get better credit so you can buy better things and feel the betterment of life. And you get to drive better cars with better air conditioning and better visibility and better warranty and better, but you're never fucking better because you're living on the precedence of these things making you better through those right here, direct external covets that maintain your wholeness through these satisfactory ideas. And that's not wrong to live that way. Live it all you want. You're good at it. Humans are good at it. You can come here and be a run-of-the-mill fucking human, rock and roll. But if you woke the fuck up, then you have a duty to yourself to A, respect yourself, B, become the discipleship of your own enlightenment, and C, go to fucking work and realize you're bullshitting yourself. Your belief systems are keeping you within the structures of repetition and you're wondering why. If you get more money, it's not because you manifested more money out of intent unless you did something to process that according to your truth. Your truth says, if I work extra shifts, I'll get more money. No shit, because it's a truth of yours, but it's not an external truth of effort and gain and return. It's the vibrational truth that says that is a truth in my world, that if I do this, I'll get it. And you do. That's real fucking easy. Okay? Have you ever thought to ask yourself an honest enough question that you will not be able to answer at first, but over time, if you are diligent and persevere in your own enlightenment, you will be able to answer? Are you really fucking interested in being, and we're casing the idea of the question that I had, being rich? If you lose the idea of being rich or wealthy and having that safety and security, and then you'll know whether that's a truth for you or not. It's not that you don't get it or do get it. It's never about the outcome, folks. It's never about the outcome. It's always about the relationship, on how you're creating yourself. So you've got to look and say, my God, these are my truths. That's why my reality is this. If I say this truth, I get that truth, but it's not the truth of the defining definition. It's the vibration. You have to recognize the emotion that creates that externalism. So you're looking for that because that's a need. That's a need. So you know you're working on your lack. Because if you were whole, you wouldn't need anything. What in the moment have you not been provided with? Right. Nothing. Every moment is whole. Every moment is complete. You don't have the balls to find out, because your mind is selling you a story. You need to, you have to, you want to, or. And that's what you need to look at. Not the completion of safety and security in the elevated ideal of accomplishment that I made my life better because I did these things. Look, everyone, look what I did. I got a badge for my life sash. Not that. It's you got to look at the fucking emotion in the moment that drives you to make those decisions. And if that emotion is lack, then you better bring that bitch up on a pedestal and go, look at my lack. I don't love myself enough to trust that I am a God, and whatever I need in the moment will be provided, no matter what. And I won't miss it, because it's going to hit me in the face saying, here, this is what you need. Here, this is what you need. And in the now, the immediate, not 10 seconds in the future, not 10 seconds in the future, not 20, not tomorrow. Right now, you get what you fucking need. Try it. Listen to me. I did it. Feel the authenticity behind the fucking words. The fire breath that I have. I trusted to now. And you know what it is? It's the truth. I create the truth that my nows are always perfect. Now, what does suck sometimes, and I'll let you know this, is the absolute enormous fear about what's coming, because I've never given myself, right, a break, an absolute break from convincing myself about the future is going to be okay with my mind. And it's not actually okay because it ain't fucking there. What am I doing? I'm selling myself a story about the future. Oh, when everybody, say it with me, motherfucker, say it with me. I'm selling that to me now. So all of a sudden, we're going to get to this great point. You're going to love this. You're going to feel a shift. And all of a sudden, you are afraid about the future, afraid, and you don't trust, and your mind convinces you, oh, it's okay because we have this as a backup, and you go, oh, woo. So you still use the future. You didn't trust the now. You still used your memory, a belief system to reprieve your angst and anxiety. Yes, worry does still creep in. It's a bitch, but you better put that up in the air and say, look, everybody, I have worry. I own my worry. I accept my worry, and I'm going to be worried, but I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it the fuck alone, and I am going to live worry. I'm going to live it, and I'm going to let it steam inside of me. I'm going to let it fiber inside of me. I'm going to let it invade every fucking cell of me, so I know worry. I came here to find out everything that humanity has to offer in relationship, and worry's a nice one. So I'm going to get to know that bitch, and I'm going to take her to bed, and I'm going to sleep with her, and she's going to become my lover, so I can have it embedded in the gestalt of fucking Roxanne to be the badass god of ascension. Or you can pussy out and fix your worry and go way over there to the corner and find there's something in your trenches of your memory that says, oh, this makes me feel good. Woo, I don't need to be worried anymore. But then you don't know worry, do you? You still have it, but you never got to know it. And why would you ever come to anywhere and not know everything? Well, that's what we do as gods. We know it all. That's our constant change. Once we know it, poof, it's gone. But if we don't know it, we have time and we have memory and we cycle it. So wondering why your things never change. Well, because you never understood it from the acceptance, from the surrender point of view of ascension, of enlightenment, of recognition, of transcendence. You've been putting it outside of yourself. So let's take this point right here. Witnessed multiple times and the worry creeps in, sadness from Sella Love. She got a little sad face, sad face. So that sad face is a part of her ego, giving her an identity. I'm sad because of my worry. So now she just carried on her sadness by claiming that as a truth in the now. Let's all play a game. Let's play a scenario. Everyone think of a scenario, a bad scenario, one that gives you anxiety or fear. Something that is very, very fear, a loss of your parent, a loss of your lover, a loss of a child, a loss of your husband or wife or mate, a loss of a job, something that just really scares the living fuck out of you, that puts you in a state of anxiety. And I want you to play it out. Or maybe it's someone that comes in and like me, I'm a big arguer and I get angry at people. So I'm all the time thinking when someone does something to me, what I'm going to do to them, which spell I'm going to do on them, how I'm going to fucking pull their fucking stomach through their fucking nose because they wronged me. And I play out every fucking scenario. But what I do as a master that I am, I observe it. I still let it go. I still let it run. And I want you to do the same. I want you to let it run and sit down and hold on to the chair and just let it run and watch how absolutely phenomenal your emotions go. Find the loss of you. Find the hate in you. Find the repercussions, the revenge. What would you do to them if they wronged you? How would you feel if you got divorced, if your husband or wife left you, or if you got fired and then you were living paycheck to paycheck? What's going to happen? Look at your mind. Let it run rampant. Please do this for yourself. It's a gift you can give yourself. And every single thought you have is something that you need to understand right now. What is it? It's a fucking truth. And it belongs to you. It ain't no one else's. Stop giving away your truths. That's what is running your reality. Because when that scenario is triggered, it's going to bring those truths. Hey, Victor, how are you, hon? Great to see you. That's what you got to look at. And then if you start to recognize those in the now. So like Sally Mon there in the chat said this, the unknown is always fearful. So she made a claim in the now, the unknown is always fearful. So she is not about the unknown. That's the excuse that her mind is selling her why she's experienced fear. The truth is that she owns the truth of fear. Doesn't matter what the cause is. The cause is the way it plays out in an explanation and reason in your mind. But that's not what's happening What's happening is you're vibrating and putting into the vortex of the now fear. That's how you're creating. Please don't think it's what you're solutionizing, what your salvation is, what your resolution is, what your resolve, because that is not it. It's the truth and the vibration, and then you're just going through emotional nows, creating nows. You're never changing the future or changing the past. You're creating nows. Your relationships change as you put your truth in. And those things of the now change according to your truths. So you got to recognize. So what happens if you're a Debbie Downer or a Bummer Bob? Whatever comes in your reality, you automatically think the worst case scenario or the scary thing. So the thing is to look at those truths. You got to look at those truths. So let's look at those truths. So I want Sally to say, I see this. Thought of fear and fear-based that I manifested in my reality. Yes. And why did you manifest fear? It's because the whole entire human collective covets fear as a truth. And when you are born, I don't know how many times I need to say this. Please listen, for fuck's sakes. You're born separated, so you bring these into you as truths. When you're a little child, if they taught you a reality of no fear, you would never experience fear because you wouldn't get the programming of fear. But since fear lives in the world, the fear of tomorrow, the fear of war, the fear of taxes, the fear of death, the fear of authority, the fear of, everything is fear. And we're walking around wondering why we're pumping our veins full of fucking drugs. Huh? I'm wondering why. Huh? It's fucking obvious. Grow the fuck up in your mind. Using your heart. This mind is a child. We have presidents and politicians and leaders around the world that have an IQ of a 12 or a 13-year-old. Not educational IQ. That's crap. That's what humans look for as a democracy of greatness, to have an high IQ. Are you fucking kidding me? That solves it? No, that just gives us a different fucking technology. What it is the IQ of maturity. They're 12, they're 13 years old. And they're running the goddamn country off of emotion. They're going nanny, nanny, boo-boo, stick your head in doo-doo. They're arguing with each other about the things that mean the truth to them. And when something doesn't fit their world, they attack what's saying different. I'm different because I'm a transgender. Kill the tranny. Trannies are wrong. They're against God. Kill the fucking tranny. And they do. They fucking kill them. They did it in the 80s with the gays. And now kill the trannies because we're the new fad. And they're this and they're that. And kill. Because you're wrong against God. And all they're doing is being the truth. If that same motherfucker was born in another fucking country with a different political system, they wouldn't have that point of view. You guys got to look. They're not looking at the fractal. Don't assign it to the fucking person. Assign it to the belief systems that you have in that relationship. And if it's no longer your truth, turn the fuck away. Turn it off, walk away. Don't feed the hungry lion. And let them starve. Because without an audience, this is Abraham 101, without an audience, there is no act. But if people keep buying tickets to the fucking act, the act continues. That's why Cats lasted 30 years on fucking Broadway or whatever it was. Because people kept on buying tickets to the show. But when enough people stop buying tickets, then they change because they're looking for their acceptance, and whatever modality is ready to be accepted, and they get energy from acceptance from the collective or the mirror, then they will do that. And what happens if you, masters, represent the authenticity, the ticket of I love me, I count, I matter, I am. And you represent that in the way you behave, not adding to the enabling fuel of fire that says polarity, that says separation, but no, that says I am enlightened, I love me, you play your world, go and do your thing. Bless you for what you are, rock your world. This is the way I play my rodeo. And I don't attract those scenarios in my world that take down me and tell me that I'm wrong about my world. If that comes, I'll deal with it now, but I don't get those realities because I'm not interested in those realities. You know what I get back? Ways to ascend. People that are like-minded in the idea of ascension, so I can offer you my ideas on what I've discovered, and I live on a day-to-day basis to express that through my authenticity. So it takes you an idea, gives you an idea rather, an opportunity to test the waters yourself and see if you can enlighten yourself through your own belief systems of recognition, deconstruction, and valuing the self in an internal truth to say, wait a minute, where am I in this picture? I'm right here. I count. Here's what I say. Not what they say, not because, not for this reason. I say it because I'm a fucking badass and this is my truth and I need no reason. You know, moving yourself to that point. So you got to look at those truths and you got to recognize them. You got to let them stir up and you got to step back and go, whoa, 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 those are my truths. And if I choose that, I know what I'm going to get. If I choose to chase money, I know what I'm going to get. If I choose to argue, I know what I'm going to get. And there might be scenarios right at first. But look, guys, don't ever think that anything is going to be permanent. Now, that's another thing. That's another thing of what the humans think. Once you get an answer, it should be the permanent solution because our fucking school system tells us that. If you do this, this, and this, you're going to get this, this, and this, and that'll be that. It's never that. What you got to learn is living now, trusting now, and starting to develop a relationship with the inner self that you forgot that is there every fucking day. It's not a subconscious self. It's something not out of reach. It's fucking you. It's the person that you wake up every day to. That's the God. And that's the person that you have to recognize within yourself, the one that's obstructing the inner self that says, hey, I want to do this. But then you go, hey, but if you do, this might happen. And we don't want that to happen. And you're like, oh my God, you're right, because that's really scary because it's pumping in fear. Because all of a sudden you might be worthy of a better life. A life that is here pulsating, not here pulsating. And then all of a sudden you have a choice to bring out the God or what? Keep the old God or the forgotten God. It's up to you. And it's only up to you. No one else has a goddamn say in your fucking ascension. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't assign it to causality. Don't give it to the fucking Mars in retrograde. Don't give it to the zodiacs. Don't give it to your guides. It's time to be I am. Don't earn your way back to God. You're already God. Take down the shit in your mind, in your truths, in your reality that says you're not God. That's what you take down. That's what you got to work at. And you got to recognize those emotions. Because they'll fuck you 3 ways from Wednesdays. They'll spin your head. And they spun me into many corners. They spun me, and the other day I was rancid about something. It's like, oh my God, my emotions are kicking my ass. But I had the mastery because I had the skill set and I've had the work and I've done it for years to allow those emotions to run, but take no action on them. Don't fix them. Don't make them better. And just let them run until the absolute slipstream comes in and says, here's what you do. Here's your truth. And I was like, feels so good to let go of that. Thank you. And it's not a release up here in theory. It's a transcendence release. That means it's gone. That layer is gone. Oh, the fucking freedom. The fucking peace. You know? Hello, Gabriel. Good to see you. Your work rings so true every time I'm here, but I can't help but to wonder how someone is spiritually advanced is not getting abundance in the form of money, creating worry to create without worry. Look, that's a great idea, Adrian. So let's talk about that for a second. I'm getting abundance in the form of money to pay my bills. There's never been a bill I haven't been able to pay since 2013 when I woke up. Sometimes the money came at the last minute. Sometimes I had to ask for the money, which was a humbling motherfucking thing. But turns out I didn't have to ask for the money because I would usually ask for the money one day before I needed it because I didn't have the courage to wait for the last fucking second. Why would I do that to myself? So I can learn and earn my own trust. So if you are saying, I'm wondering how someone as spiritually advanced is not getting abundance in the form of money to create without worry. Well, it's not about creating without worry. It's about ascending worry. You pay the bills in the now. And what happens if you're late? Let it be late and play it out. Play it out. You have a late bill, you'll get the money to pay the late bill. Something will come. But you have to trust and you have to say, listen to me, listen, you have to say yes in whatever form it comes to give you that abundance, whatever form it comes, because there's another idea to show you your limitations on how you can receive abundance in the form of money. It's like Osifi has talked about. This planet, you need fucking ducats. You need the ducats in order to pay the bills. We don't want abundance. You don't want to get something and have to go down to a pawn shop to sell it to get the money to put in your bank to do that. You just want the dead presidents. So let's get the dead presidents. Be open, but don't be in the idea of expectant on how the money is going to come, when it's going to come. Learn you. But if you keep coming up with these fucking excuses and you don't trust yourself and you're acting on the truth of lack in order to fix what you perceived as what? Broken, then you're gonna get the same fucking reality because you haven't changed the action of self. Any reality must be changed through behavior. You have to not enact the lack of that moment, enact the truth of allowance, could be surrender, could be acceptance from this idea. I've seen so many people just bullshit themselves. Well, it didn't happen. Well, it did, but not really like the way I wanted it to. You want this up here? You're trusting this fucking fractal? This pee-wee fucking brain of how many years of education, of experience of life to tell you how to be a god? Stop. Recognize this fucking person in your mind that's divided. That's your fractal. That's your not self. And that's all you know. And you have to recognize your knowing is creating. Once you recognize your knowing and have the courage to change that knowing by choosing a different knowing, that belief, that knowing drops. It lessens. And you will never get it again because you're not choosing that truth. That takes courage. That's everything my class has taught. And the one that asked me that question should know by now that that recognition of envy, of saying I'm greedy, is an emotional relationship. So the immediate notification is recognition of a belief system that creates your truth, which is your reality. It says, yes, that's my truth. I have greed. So reality says, here, go ahead and be greedy. And it gives you lackful ideas you need and want to be greed because it's a perfect mirror. Perfect mirror. Perfect mirror. Thank you, Sella. Booyah. 100%. So you got to look at the truths. Look, I've spent a lot of time. I wrote classes on this. I've given, I think we've done it three sets of classes. The third set is ending. They're on persona development. And I've gotten better at it. I've improved my workbooks. I've improved the curriculum because I'm getting better at this. You want to wake up and see what you're doing, listen very closely, to yourself, then take these classes because they will show you exactly how you're fucking creating your reality. We think up here. We create here. This is a reaction to this. Because this is the now vortex pumping the will. Here, my will says this. My will says this. And then the reflection in my mind goes, wait a minute. Oh my God, anti-M. And then you're reacting to that, which is just creating your nows. You're sprinkling of your timeline nows of truths. Your reactionary emotional experience of the non-God self. Wake up. You can do this. You can. Yes, you can. You remember in that thing in the Bible that says, whatever comes in your reality, it's something that you can handle. I'll never give you more than you can handle. That's an absolute truth about vibrational attraction. You're only going to get what is exactly matched to you. You're never going to get too much and you're never going to get too little because every bubble is perfect. It is only the slanted of the separated mind that skews or conditions the reality of unconditional. It's only your motherfucking mind. And if you're observant enough to really watch it, then you're going to notice, oh my God, it's always me interpreting my reality no matter what. And the more you look at that, the more you be now, the more you cavitate all your belief systems to stir up the dust to show you, oh my God, look at all my truths. That's what's creating my reality. That's why I feel like this. That's why I feel like that, because I am that truth. And you recognize the fractal, then you can enlighten and clean your fucking kingdom up and sit your ass back down on your own throne the way you want to, with the persona, which is just phenomenal when you start knowing yourself. When you really, really start to know the God, and it's just tiny glimpses, and it's not defined. It's not objects that you can define and draw and explain. It's a feeling. It's a way to feel. It's a state of being. It's this isness that just pours this vibrational love and grace into you that just melts your heart, and you're just going to want more of it, but you can't get it all because your ego is still within you and you got to keep working. But it's good. It's good. So anyways, I think that's all I wanted to talk about today as far as stir it up, recognize, stir it up. You want to know why? That's why. Your reality is one thing and one thing only. Why is it that? Why is your reality that? Whatever that is. You know why? Because you're God. That's it. All right, everyone. I've been learning to stay humble and neutral around my friends and family that do not understand me. Yes, humble yourself. Pay attention, Sally. Mr. Sallyman, Sal, pay attention, Sal. Allow them to be their self. Don't fight with them. Humble yourself. You don't need to win the argument if that's what it was used to or whatever it is. But just also do yourself a favor. When it crosses the line with your truth, you can take a break. You're allowed to walk away from that situation, your family, your friends. You're allowed to choose a different person. Now, sometimes that's going to feel a certain way because all of a sudden your dependencies on them are going to be recognized. And they're going to be recognized. And they're going to be recognized. And you're going to see your external dependencies. And you're going to want to go back to that because it's going to make you feel important. It's going to make you feel good. But that's the opportunity to say, you know what? I'm enough. I want you to say it, Sal. I'm enough. I'm enough being me. I don't feel the emotions of being me. I'm not fulfilled because I don't have reasons, but I'm enough right now as is. And learn to love that emptiness, that self that doesn't have reasons to be awesome, that doesn't need external validations to be awesome. It is, I am. Okay? So learn that. Walk away when it gets toxic. You're allowed to. Looking at your website, so there are different classes or all subjects included. Yeah, so what we do on the classes is it's each school is 1 month. Recognition is the first. That's 1 month long. It's $150 for 1 month. The next month you pay another $150 and then you get the School of Transcendence. And then the next school is the School of Vibrational Tactician. And the next school is the School of Persona Development. So it's a 4 month long and we hit each idea. We have workbooks and we have, of course, ton of material and class interaction and skills to learn. And it's a whole thing. So yeah, that's how it works. Very good. Very good, Sal. Thank you. Thank you, darling. All right, guys. I'm going to record something this week. I think I don't know if it's going to be Osifius or Sly, but something's coming and I'll get that up. Should be this Thursday. All right, guys. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Feel free to do that. If you'd like to donate, go ahead and donate. There's a button down there. And anything else you need, just let me know. My email's down there as well in my website. I love you guys. Thanks all for tuning in. Rock your reality. Never discount yourself and always love yourself. All right? Take care, everyone.